Whenever I tell people that they should photograph where they live, I always hear the same thing. There's nothing to shoot here. And I kind of used to feel like that too. There's nothing here, it's boring. Why can't I live somewhere more interesting like New York or where the hobbits live? But over time, I started to get more and more influenced by documentary photographers. And I started to do research into our local area, and I found something pretty mad. Shrovetide football, just half an hour away from me, an absolutely insane game, played between the whole town for like hundreds of years. So I thought I'd try that out and document something that's pretty much on my doorstep. First half an hour, I thought I would die. Absolute chaos. After that, I eased into it and started to understand how to shoot it. And towards the end of the day, I was lucky enough to take one of the best photos I've ever taken, even now after all these years. And I know what you're probably thinking. There's no 800-odd-year-old traditions near me. What am I supposed to do? Yeah, that's a fair point. I got pretty lucky there. But there are so many really important ways to document the world and tell people's stories. But before I talk more about that, I really want to talk about a great opportunity for people who are really interested in documentary photography, but don't know how to take it to the next level. Recently, the people at Labasad, the Barcelona School of Arts and Design, reached out to me to see if I would help promote their online masters in documentary photography. And basically, I'm on board because I genuinely think that it looks like a great thing for someone that wants to get into the world of documentary photography and really push forward in that. This course delves deep into documentary photography, the history, how it works in the modern day, putting work together for exhibitions, getting into publications, and building towards a career in the thing you love doing. And I think it's so valuable because it's genuinely the kind of course that I would have looked at doing when I was first getting into documentary photography. I wanted to do this job. I wanted to get my work publicized, but I just didn't have any idea how to get there. Led by Fiorenza Pinna and Tony Amenguel, with instructors like Eric Kessels and Federico Clavarino, you can be sure you're actually getting proper advice from people who actually work in that world, and their guidance can help you find your place in documentary photography. All classes are scheduled once a week at a specific time. You can ask your teachers questions directly whenever you like. And maybe best of all, if you miss any of the classes for any reason, all of these classes will be recorded. You'll be able to go back through them, refer to them whenever you need to. Throughout the program, you'll complete hands-on projects that will go towards your professional portfolio, so you're not just doing things for the sake of it. I get requests for sponsorships all the time, and usually it's just some new AI tool that I don't think my audience will actually find useful, so I turn them down. In this case, I genuinely think it's a perfect fit for you guys, and it could be really helpful for a couple of you. So if you're interested and you want to find out more about it, go down, click the link in the description, just take a look. But anyway, let's get back to it. And I'm going to imagine I live somewhere really boring, like some bland suburb of America. I hear from people that live in these places all the time, and it's always the same thing. There's nothing here, it's just houses, same old. But from a documentary photographer's mindset, I think there's a ton to shoot. Perhaps it could be as simple as the story of the everyday people that live in these houses. Perhaps the only store in a 5-mile radius could have a whole project about it. This could be a project that covers the store, but the theme is about how hard it is in rural communities for small business owners to get by. It could be anything. You could make a project about your local church and the people that go to it. Or maybe it's just you and your family and no one else lives anywhere near you. You could document your family, your struggles, and the life that you live. There are so many possibilities for documentary projects. And yeah, I know I like to shoot crazy stuff because I think it's interesting and fun, but it's not any less valuable to shoot something small in your local area. You'll find yourself really connecting with your community more, really learning different skills, taking portraits, understanding your subjects, learning how to tell their story. And you can even exhibit your work locally and build up bigger projects over time. Everyone's circumstances are different. So you could live in some little Italian town and it's well known for pigs that sniff out truffles. But there you go. You've got a story. Maybe you could focus in on one specific person and their relationship to one of the truffle pigs. Not in that way. You might be thinking, okay, I'm kind of interested in documenting something in my community, but I don't know what to document. I don't want to do one of these typical things. I want something that is a little bit more interesting. Well, personally, I kind of think anything's worth doing if you weren't doing anything before. But if you really want to hone in on something that excites you, then pick up a local newspaper. Still to this day, local newspapers have all the best stories from your local area. Stories that you would never have been able to find if not for the local newspaper. And this helps you because usually or quite often these stories aren't really made that in depth. And this could give you an opportunity to really uncover a story that interests you. Alternatively, think about what your interests are. What are you into? What excites you? What makes you want to do it even if you're not going to get paid for it? So you might love hockey. Maybe there's a really interesting story local to you. Maybe a group of refugees have made their own hockey team and you only heard about it the other day, but it never even registered with you. You just thought, oh, that's pretty cool. That could be an entire project that's really interesting. It helps to tell the stories of these people's lives. It's also very heartwarming and interesting. It's just a great thing to do. This marries your love of whatever thing that you enjoy with a really cool story. But once you've found a story that you want to tell, how do you shoot that story in an interesting way? Photographing people's lives can be really challenging, but think about it kind of like a movie. When you watch a movie, there's all kinds of different shots, all kinds of different things that build up the scene. When it comes to documentary photography, think about how you can use a mixture of shots. Close-ups of the person's weathered hands, or some half-eaten food on a plate, trinkets on a shelf if they help people to understand this person's story more, portraits that make you really feel like you know the person. But more than anything, I would say look for other documentary photographers' work and be inspired by that. Over time, you'll develop your own style and identity. But every photographer, no matter how big they are or small they are, needs to take inspiration from other people and other people's projects. Just because it's inspiration doesn't mean you're copying things. It's just food for the brain, food for that creative part of your brain. And sometimes you need to see other people's work to give yourself confidence that, oh, maybe I can do this. Maybe that's okay to do this project. And if you're still sat there thinking that you can't do this kind of thing, there's nothing to shoot here, blah, 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 then here's a challenge for you. Shoot your home. Document your home. Home can mean different things to different people. This could be your grandparents' house. This could be a friend's house. It could be anything. Document what a home means to you and try to make it an interesting documentary project that shines a light on that life. In the process, you're going to learn a ton. And that's what it's all about. I've done loads of projects in the past that were purely just for me to get better at what I'm doing. And I've enjoyed them. I've learned things from them. I've got those photos forever as well. They might be some use in the future. You never know. And of course, go ahead and take a look at the online masters at Labasad if this is something that you think you're going to want to do in the future. And it's not just about what you'll learn, but it's also about the people you'll meet along the way. Your teachers, your classmates, all of this can have a really profound effect on where you'll go with your photography. Having this multicultural community allows you to connect with people from all kinds of different backgrounds and cultures, deepening your understanding of photography on an international level. If you take a look, there's a full breakdown of all the modules that are covered throughout the year. And one of them that I think will be super useful is from photographs to publications and exhibitions, because it can feel nearly impossible to figure out how to get your stories publicized if you're self-taught. So go ahead, take a look, see if this opportunity is right for you. But either way, go ahead, shoot your home life, document something that's relevant to you. You won't regret it, and you'll learn a ton. And take care. I know this room's probably looking kind of crazy right now. This room is in the middle of a full makeover. So the door's looking a bit crazy. There's nothing else in this room right now. It's all going to look different, hopefully, in a couple of weeks. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.